that Belmont jumps at 3 o'clock. It's the Kieran Magumi handicap over 1,700 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent performance of Regent Star, last seen at Belmont.
And on the outside is Pagan Image, back behind them then at the head of the others when they'd straighten for home now, down to the 300 Regent Star, and further back then is Jimmy Rapid with San Crispino. Now just elated at the 200, ranges up and quickly gathers in French Toast and Regent Star, Pagan Image, and now down the outside Perceptive Misses running on strongly. Just elated Regent Star coming at it, just elated Regent Star, just elated might have...
Thought there was plenty to like by the last couple of starts of Regent Star, and again the horse maps in a particularly good position. I'm not sure it was exactly suited their last start. It ended up 3 back the fence from a decent gate. It was a slow tempo, wasn't really clear until about the 250 metre mark. It was strong late, it just missed just elated on that occasion, but the horse recorded good late sections. The start before it showed some ability to keep on what was a genuine tempo up front, and I think if it gets a better position in running, it should be pretty hard to run down at hopefully an each way price. Second pick is a 3, which is Zaratype. The horse returned with its own personal best first up. It just seemed to be winding up late, so I think the step up in distance looks suitable for it. And if it gets into a good spot there from gate 9, I think that's probably the key. It can get a little bit too far back in runs that we've seen so far in its career. Third pick is the 7, Ferradue. Small query, third up, 1,700 metres, and it does have a bit of a sticky gate, but we saw last start, it was just doing its best work there late, and it was trying to chase down Damos, so that form line does look particularly strong going forward. And then fourth pick is the 11, Seaspring, who's been very consistent so far this preparation. Just seemed to lose its spot twice in running there last start, and all of a sudden it just was swamped by a few horses out wide with a bit of momentum. So it just needs that better flow into traffic, and I suspect with Shooter McGrady jumping on board, it will settle more prominently. On top in race 5 is 9, Regent Star from 3, Zaratype, 7, Ferradue and 11, Seaspring. Race 6 at Belmont jumps at 3:35. It's the Amelia Park handicap over 1,200 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent trial of Tracciato.
Girl, and down on the inside is Chow Miss Turpin. Chow Miss Turpin together with Lickety Split. Pearl Girl on the Terps now presents out 4 wide. Just in behind them, Tracciato. Down toward the 200. Hitting the front on the outside, Pearl Girl. Kicking back, Lickety Split. They've beaten off on the Terps. Just in front, Pearl Girl. Lickety Split goes with it. Tight.
154 days since we've last seen Tracciato, but it does have a really good first up record and has recorded some of its best ratings in that first up time. In the most recent trial, we saw it jump well. There was some intent, but it ended up 3 wide without cover. It was then restrained back on a slowing tempo and wasn't really ever clear in that trial. So I was pretty keen to follow it going into the first up performance. And this does look a winnable race despite the wide barrier. Second pick is the 7, Lipstick Flickers. It's clearly the horse to beat here. It just needs a bit of luck as well from its wide barrier, but it was particularly strong there in a race where it was just collared late by what looks a good horse there in showmanship. But the horse itself, Lipstick Flickers, has recorded 2 strong ratings in a row now. Third pick is a 3, Abbey Lane. It was a little bit slow away. It was finishing well in that race behind Battle Storm. It lost momentum from the 600 to 400, but if it can begin a bit cleaner, I'm pretty confident this horse can run a bit of a race. And then fourth pick is the 10, Angry Annie, who's 59 days without a trial since we've last seen it. When we did see it, it jumped best, led a slow tempo, kicked really strong and won well there at Pinjarra, so I'm sure they'll try similar tactics in this field. On top in race 6 is the 1, Tracciato from 7, Lipstick Flickers, 3, Abbey Lane and 10, Angry Annie. Race 7 at Belmont jumps at 4:10. It's the Dawsonia handicap over 1,400 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent performance of Beat the Bell.
Around them deep also. Snow Chino's back in traffic searching for a clear run, and Beat the Bell hooked to the outside, starts to run on. Out near the middle, Playing Marika reached the lead from Thunderstrut. Behind them Apollo and Beat the Bell. He's got the whip out on the leader, Playing Marika down past the 100 mark. It's Playing Marika from Beat the Bell and Apollo, and Playing Marika's going to hold on. Playing Marika 3/4, Beat the Bell. Apollo third, tight go.
Siding with Beat the Bell to defeat the horse that beat it last start in Playing Marika, just given the fact that Beat the Bell in its 2 runs so far this preparation has run personal bests on both occasions and recorded some really strong late sections over the last 400 and last 200. I think the change in jockey and the change in barrier may well be in its favour. If it can just settle that extra pair forward, I think that will help it flowing into the race. So that's why I'm siding with that horse. to beat the 8 playing Marika, who's really just running very consistently so far. We saw it wasn't quite at its best first up, but since then it's run 2 good figures, comes into this race with the best last start figure as well. It just again has drawn a slightly sticky barrier. Third pick is the one, Time to Hunt, who is a very consistent horse, runs pretty much to the same figures week in, week out. It's first up here in 130 days, and it was just well held in a slow tempo trial there recently. So from gate 1, it does look like it will get a soft run in transit. And then the 4th pick is the 9, Sky Atlas, who does seem to map particularly well for this event. It does tend to run its best races on a slower tempo, so if it can find the lead here or certainly dictate the pace, that will probably be in its favour. On top in race 7 is the 11, Beat the Bell, from 8 playing Marika, 1 Time to Hunt and 9 Sky Atlas. Race 8 at Belmont jumps at 4:45. It's the Key Clean handicap over 2,100 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent start of Jimmy Rapid, last seen at Belmont.
Image back behind them then, at the head of the others when they'd straighten for home now, down to the 300, Regent Star, and further back then is Jimmy Rapid with San Crispino. Now just elated at the 200, ranges up and quickly gathers in French Toast and Regent Star, Pagan Image, and now down the outside, Perceptive Misses running on strongly, Just Elated, Regent Star coming at it, Just Elated, Regent Star, Just Elated might have...
Really nice run there from Jimmy Rapid. It flopped out last. It came wide coming in towards the turn. Made a big run coming along around 600 metres away from the finish and loomed. It just peaked late. It got a little bit too far back, but look, gate 1 is obviously a soft barrier. I'm not sure exactly what the tactics will be, whether it flops out last once more, if it runs for a bit of a rails in running proposition, but if it can use that same level of momentum, it has an excellent turn of foot so far that we've seen this preparation, and it should be attacking the line with gusto. So it goes on top from the 7, Western Star. It was restrained early from a wide draw before making a mid-race move to sit outside the leader, and what was just an even speed. It was overhauled late, but again, I think this horse maps in a good position, and certainly recent figures would be appropriate for this. It does also enjoy soft ground from what we've seen over the last 10 starts. Third pick is the 3, Cockatiel. It jumped well, was ridden with intent from the big field or in a big field, settled 3 wide with cover, and it obviously just managed to get the bob there at Pinjarra, making a wide run, but recorded good figures over the last 400 and last 200. And then 4th pick is the 1, which is Altamont, who comes into this race with the highest last start figure, but it doesn't necessarily have the best record in wet ground. But look, if it's still dry there at Belmont on Wednesday coming to the last, it certainly has strong claims. On top in race 8 is the 4, Jimmy Rapid, from 7, Western Star, 3, Cockatiel and 1, Altamont. Best bets at Belmont, race 3, number 1, Okina Kuri, race 4, number 5, Classy Lassie. That's all for us here at Perth Racing. If you'd like to keep up to date with us, keep in touch via our website or on social media. Until later in the week, I'm Pete Anthonys. Go well and good punting.